This is perfect for the LA Lakers, as a massive report just dropped that LA is signing Spencer Dinwiddie after the days of speculation, after no moves happened at the trade deadline. Probably the perfect situation scenario played out for LA, given the situation, the Lakers were currently sort of posted in. So we're going to break down the signing, what it means for LA, and how it's going to impact the potential playoff picture in the Western Conference. But before we dive into that, folks, over 88% of our viewers are not subscribed to the channel, and we want to keep you up to date with all of the latest LA Lakers news. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Again, thank you for getting us to 2,000 subscribers. Only getting started here for the LA Lakers and Okechi. The Lakers seem to be only getting started with this season right now as well, as Spencer Dinwiddie is officially an LA Laker.
I mean, season starts today, man. Like Spencer Dinwiddie coming to the Lakers. I was not gonna be a fan of initially if we traded for him, but getting him in the buyout market, that is huge for us because like you signing him, you're essentially just adding him to your team. You're not losing anybody. You don't mess up the team chemistry in any way whatsoever. And then he can just slide right into that backup point guard spot that we've been talking about all season that's been absent because Gabe Vincent hasn't really been there. So I think it's a great get.
100%. And again, as you mentioned, the Lakers were linked to Spencer Dinwiddie leading up into the trade deadline, and the Brooklyn Nets had some ridiculous asking prices for their players. So, even they got Schroeder and Thaddeus Young. I guess they waived Thaddeus Young for Spencer Dinwiddie. So, the Lakers didn't have to give anything up to pick him up and got him at a very reasonable number now at this point, because basically Shams revealed that Spencer Dinwiddie plans to sign with the LA Lakers after he clears waivers, and the Lakers were among several playoff teams, including the Dallas Mavericks, who seriously pursued Dinwiddie with an opportunity for a significant role on the roster. The last time Spencer Dinwiddie was in the West, he played a pivotal role on playoff teams on a Western Conference finalist. So the Dallas Mavericks, obviously, with the other team neck and neck. Obviously, you covered it last night. The pictures of him and Rob Pelinka in the crowd. There were pictures of him and Mark Cuban out there at the New York Knicks Dallas Mavericks game. It was a little bit of a hunt, a little bit of an arms race happening there between the LA Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks. So we're going to dive into the impact Dinwiddie's going to have on this team. But to get one over the Dallas Mavericks, who are neck and neck with LA in the Western Conference right now, makes it that much sweeter.
I mean, it totally does. And like us and the Mavericks, for some reason, like the past couple of games we've played, like they always end up in close games, overtime thrillers. Just so there's like a little bit of a budding rivalry. I can tell the Maverick fans don't like us, which is fine. Not a lot of fan bases like us, but the Lakers getting one over here on the Mavs, like it could be huge coming down the stretch because if we do end up playing them in a play in matchup, then I think this gives us like a leg up. This gives us like another guy that can handle the ball, another guy who can shot make a little bit, and then just work off of those double teams that are going to be coming LeBron James and Anthony Davis's way, because he's been a guy that's worked well off of double teams in the past.
100%. 100%. And his time at the Dallas Mavericks was the best point in his career because Dinwiddie's been on some pretty bad rosters. He's not had the greatest teams around him over the course of his career. And he had a moment there with the Dallas Mavericks where he was looking elite. I mean, we can dive into his stats during that season with the Dallas Mavericks, his previous stint in the Western Conference. I mean, the guy was averaging 15 points per game, 17 points per game on remarkable shooting splits, comparatively to the rest of his career. And that's because he's getting more open looks around a Luka Doncic, around these types of players. So now with LeBron James and AD being able to hit Spencer Dinwiddie in open shots, I mean, we can look at his shooting splits, and the guy only takes 20% of his shots as corner threes, and he makes 46% of them. I mean, in the past, he's made over 50% from the corners, and he's a guy that's mostly, the ball in his hands, hits above the break shots, can be clutch for a team. He's shown up in big moments when he's been on good rosters. There's speculation that he's almost protesting against the Brooklyn Nets how bad he was playing this year because the team was just a complete mess. But him coming to LA, his hometown team, around LeBron, just in a team with expectations. That's coming here. We're going to unlock something out of Spencer Dinwiddie. He's not a guy that's, super old and washed as most players are on the buyout market. 30 years old, coming in the prime of his career, has already played with D'Angelo Russell. I think this is going to work out really, really well for the LA Lakers.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. And then just to add more to that, a guy like Spencer Dinwiddie, he is a veteran. So a lot of the guys on the Lakers team, besides LeBron James and Anthony Davis, are younger guys.
Mhm.
So if you add another person, just like another veteran, another voice, can really help bridge the gap for some of these other players, guys like Rui Hachimura and like
Mhm.
guys like Reaves, who Reaves doesn't have to play on the ball as much because he now has Spencer Dinwiddie helping him out, especially in those off the bench situations where he's going to be at. So Reaves as a ball handler isn't taxed too much. And now you get Spencer Dinwiddie, another guy that can really help out on that side. So not only with the professionalism, with the years that he's been in the NBA, but then also his ball handling ability can help a guy like Austin Reaves out.
Yep. And this adds to D'Angelo Russell's value now here because we know D'Lo, when he's hot, he is proper cooking. He's one of the top offensive point guards in the entire NBA when he's getting his game going, when he's hitting shots. Saw it last
Mm-hmm.
night. For the
Mm-hmm.
LA Lakers, he can have some monster performances, but he has highs, he has lows, he has that sort of up and down trajectory, not just over his Lakers career, but over his entire NBA career. But now, with an established starter, a guy that has been a starter in the NBA, backing up D'Angelo Russell, similar to what Dennis Schroeder provided for the Lakers last season, then there's that stability at the point guard position. Again, he's not too old where you're worried about him, potentially having to carry a decent load if D'Angelo Russell is struggling in the playoffs. There's not that worry that there may have been with a Kyle Lowry or one of these types of players, a George Hill, one of these guys that were also out there on the buyout market. But there's also that sort of, he's played with D'Angelo Russell, he can come off the bench, and sure, he's dealt with some injuries in the past, but you're not going to be dealing with a situation like you have with Gabe Vincent, who was supposed to be that Schroeder replacement. We haven't heard much on his potential return. The Lakers have been a little bit shady about what's actually going
Mm-hmm.
on with that, and obviously they want to maintain their leverage going into the trade deadline. If they were to trade for a Dinwiddie or one of these players, you're at a place a disadvantage if your other backup point guard isn't available, but Dinwiddie sort of fits the exact hole the Lakers need to fill in the trade deadline and buyout market. So this seems like probably, could this trade deadline, buyout stuff, given everything that's gone on, could this have gone better for the LA Lakers right now?
Definitely for sure. This could have gone better for the Los Angeles Lakers. I thought they probably could have made a couple of deals, maybe for like a 3-and-D wing, or maybe possibly like a backup bruiser big. Andre Drummond comes to mind for
Fair.
me. But Spencer Dinwiddie, just getting him for what you got, like I said, you're not really spending too much money. It's a very easy signing, and like if it doesn't work at the end of the season, you can just let him walk, and then
Yep.
he's a free agent. So, and you still have Gabe Vincent signed for possibly next season, and then he can probably fill that role eventually. But as Gabe Vincent works his way back, because I believe it was a knee injury, so like even when he comes back, he's still not going to be 100%.
Yep.
He's still going to have to work his way back, get himself into game shape, and that's going to take some time. So that's why you can just throw Spencer Dinwiddie right in there, and then he can be a guy that can work off of Austin Reaves. He can be a guy that work off of D'Angelo Russell. Put him in lineups next where LeBron James is like the other ball handler. So like he can do a lot of things for you in that backcourt. And then that shooting is going to be big for him, because if he's able to hit shots, I see no reason why not to put him on the floor, especially in big moments.
100%. And now with the Lakers roster kind of solidified, hitting the playoffs now at this point. Obviously, more buyout acquisitions could happen. Two guys getting dropped, whatever could actually go down. But for right now, the big names are all set for this LA Lakers team. Lakers been on a little bit of a hot streak as of late, getting some W's back to back to back. D'Angelo Russell's skill set or just playability output has just been going up and up for this LA Lakers team this season. Where are we finishing? We getting out of that play-in tournament? How you feeling about the LA Lakers, sort of trajectory to enter the playoffs this year?
Mm, it's hard to say if we're getting out of the playoffs, because like it doesn't also depend on like how well the Lakers do. It depends on how badly the other teams would fall.
Yep.
So we'll see who falls here in the next couple of weeks. If there's another big injury or something like that, then the team can slide down a little bit more. Teams like the Mavericks are a little bit ahead of us. Team that we just played last night, the New Orleans Pelicans,
Yep.
They're ahead of us as well. So stacking up wins against them is huge and very important, especially when it comes to tiebreakers, when it comes towards the end of the season, because you're going to need those tiebreakers, especially if you have similar records, which is kind of happening right now along the West. I believe that the top four is very similar. 5 to 6 is very similar, and then 7, 8, 9 are all kind of like packed in right there. So all of these wins are going to matter, especially you're going against head-to-head against these teams that you're going to be playing down the stretch. And then I do think the ideal spot is probably somewhere around 7 or 6. If you can find a first round series with one of these younger teams, like or OKC or even Minnesota.
Minnesota. Bring me
Yes,
Minnesota. Bring me
yes.
Minnesota.
Just one of these younger teams. Like if as long as it's not the Denver Nuggets in the first round, I
Mhm.
do believe the Lakers will be fine in that situation, just because they have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, two guys who've been there, done that before, and then
Yeah.
all the young guys last season, they really got their bearings. So guys like Rui Hachimura, guys like Austin Reaves, D'Angelo Russell now knows what not to do in a playoff situation. So all of these factors are going to combine each other. And I think for the most part, I think they'll be fine if they don't play the Denver Nuggets again in the first round.
Road to the sixth seed, revenge series for D'Angelo Russell. Calling it here. Let's make that push. But folks, you guys are the best for making this far. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't just yet, so you can stay up to date with everything regarding the LA Lakers. But Catchy, any last words on LA's push for that sixth seed now with Spencer Dinwiddie?
mm, not too much to say here, but like just hopefully the Lakers are able to make that push post All-Star game. Like that's where they made that big push last season. So adding Spencer to this spot, and then their offense is starting to finally
Mhm.
click. So some good things are on the horizon for the Lakers, as barring health, of course.
Stay healthy, get that sixth seed, win a chip. Let's ride. You guys are the best. Signing out. Cheers.